Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. The show is designed to give you solutions to your day-to-day management and leadership problems. It's hosted by Matthew Haddock, a frontline manager and leader with over 25 years of experience. If you're ready, then let's get on with the show.
Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. I do hope you are well, and as ever, delivering results with your team. Today is a Friday thought again. I seem to be hitting a lot of Friday thoughts recently, don't I? Maybe I only have thoughts on a Friday. Can only say on a Friday, maybe. Friday thought day. Okay, today I want to talk about you as a leader. So if you're listening to this podcast, and I hope you've been listening for years, but if you haven't, welcome to the show. And as ever, please like and share and comment wherever you get your podcasts. If you are a leader, though, and a manager, and they do go hand in hand, what does that mean? How and what are you there to achieve? And it sounds simple, doesn't it, when you say it that way around? What are you there for? Now, I'm not talking the meaning of life. We're talking about what are you there for as a leader. You might have come through the ranks, been a great worker, been a good tradesman, been a good doer. You could have come from university and delivered through a degree or a master's, and you've gone into a management role. Some by choice, some by almost accident through years of service. But what are you there to do? Well, as I say at every start of every podcast, you are there to deliver results. Whatever those results are specific to the role that you are playing in the organisation. You know, whatever that might be. But under all that, if you are leading, that means you have people. If you're a manager, you are managing the people. And you're managing the people to do what? Well, to get results. Of course it is. Results differ, as I said, but you're there to deliver results. So how do you do that? And again, it sounds so simple. Well, I just get people to do it. But it's not as simple, is it? And you know, if you're listening to this show, that leadership involves a couple, if not a lot, of moving parts. One of the things, of course, is your own boss. What do they expect out of you? What does your team expect out of you? And what does the business expect of you to do? And those three areas can become very grey and becomes very hard to manage in some businesses. You're set on to do a certain role, you think you're doing it a certain way, and then all of a sudden it changes. A different direction, a different process, a different owner, a different customer, all have different demands on you as a leader. But when it comes down to it, the key part of leading is the people element. And that is where I want to talk on the Friday Thought today. How do you lead, or how do you lead people? And there's been a lot of information about that over the years. You've read lots of books, listen to podcasts, hopefully mine, or YouTube, or wherever else you get your content from. But I always think of it in a couple of ways. If you think of the word leads, what does that actually mean? If you're leading performance, what do you do? Let's break it down. Let's make it simple. Something I read in a book years back, I can't remember where. You look at leads, first part of it is, you know, if you're leading performance, what does that mean to the business and to you? Well, the first one is the L. You've got to listen, you know, to others, to understand their thoughts, their concerns, their aspirations. You as a people leader are there to lead people. And that doesn't matter which department you sit in, customer facing or not customer facing. You have to listen to the people. You may be an expert. You may be the head of the class. You might be the one who knows everything. You might have 40 years of service. But you must listen. Things change. People change. Attitudes change. You need to listen to your people. Understand what their thoughts are. Understand where their concerns are. And what are their aspirations. How do you bridge those gaps? How do you make that person feel and be part of a team that's delivering results? Again, back to delivering results. Second one, the E. What have you got to do there? You've got to empower people. You know, others might have that responsibility, but you're going to be accountable. So you need to make sure that you trust your team, that you're training your team, you're supporting your team to be empowered to make those decisions. You cannot be there 24/7. You can't be there 24/7. Some people try it. Some people do, and I've done that myself, but you can't be there all the time. You can monitor, you can watch the screens click over, see the performance numbers, but you can't be there. So you need to empower that team, using others to be responsible when you're not there, to get the stuff done, get the things out the door. Leads as well. What does the A stand for in leads? Well, of course, it's to adapt. We mentioned earlier, change is always around us, changing situations, and always be ready to listen and to implement new ideas, because adaptation is going to be the king to you as a leader. You need to be able to adapt, move, make sure that the team can adapt and move, because customers change. Legislation changes. If you look back at things like health and safety, how that's developed in a completely right way, especially in the UK, over the last 20 odd years. It's a much safer environment because they've made changes. They've adapted. If your mindset was from the 80s and 90s and you try to implement it now, it's not going to work. So you need to adapt. Customer expectations have changed. Every customer will expect something completely different to what they had not even 5 years ago, maybe a year ago. That's just the way the customers do. So you need to adapt to it. And your shareholders, if you're in those kind of businesses, the owners of the business, they're going to expect you to adapt. Maybe there's a problem, maybe there's a situation, maybe there's a change in legislation, or maybe there's just a shift in people. What did they used to have on the back? Fur coats. People had fur coats everywhere, even up to the 70s and early 80s. No one had a fur coat now. So if you're in a fur coat business, then what are you going to do? Bit of a strange one to go down on the mat, wasn't it? Fur coats, eh? Where did that come from? The D in leads is what I said at the beginning, and I've said in every single podcast: deliver. You've got to deliver high quality results that are set to a clear goal and objectives which are linked to, and let me say that again, are linked to the end results of the business. If you're not there to deliver results for your customer who pay your bills, your business is not going to be there. It doesn't last. If you're not in the centre delivering a quality service, either through interaction directly with your customers, with the call centres, with the actual production outputs, whatever that is, of course, the right quality, you need to deliver. So whatever your role is in that business, still think that the D is important, deliver. Now, what happens sometimes is people get lost in the deliver, and they think they're doing their section, but it doesn't link to the deliver to the customer. How many times have you been into a hospitality place, a restaurant, a pub, and the service and the person behind the bar or person taking your order has been terrible? You don't feel that they want you to be there. You feel like you're being, almost ignored. The service is terrible. They're rude. It takes forever to get your meal. The meal's rubbish when it gets there. Do you go back there? Of course not. But nowadays, you don't just not go back there. You put a nasty review, or even an honest review. Not a nasty review, an honest review on the different websites. You go on Facebook and go, never go here again. Those businesses soon close, especially when you're front-facing. But the same with everything. If you're not delivering to your customer, if they want 10,000 widgets on that day to that quality, they expect it. You might get away with letting them down once or twice. You can have good customer service and relationships, but if you fail, they'll find somebody else that delivers. So as a leader, the D, deliver high-quality results. Think of it that way. And the last one, the S. What does the S stand for? Well, it's to self-understand. More of us need to understand yourselves as leaders and the impact on others. And it's easy for you to manage yourself in some ways because you know what you're doing, but you need to be able to adapt your style to be able to understand yourself and how you impact the people around you. Because you walking through those doors or into the meetings makes such a massive impact on others. They will see that if you're not on your game, they will see if you're just being awkward and you don't really get it. And they'll see through you straight away. Guys on the shop floor, in my dealing, they can see someone straight away. Don't matter what it says on your CV, don't matter what you've done in the interview. They can see if you're useless, if you're full of it. If you walk through that door and you are full of bullshit in aisle 2. Exactly, I haven't used that for a while. They can see the bullshit. They'll know straight away that person is not there. They're not genuine. So you need to understand yourself, be genuine to yourself, and understand your impact on others. So that's what my thoughts about leadership are. And you've heard me before talking about it. And if you haven't, go back and listen to the 300 odd episodes. But leads is about listening to people. It's about empowering them to be able to deliver. It's about adapting when things change. And that can be quick changes or longer changes. You need to deliver quality results all the time. And you need to understand yourself and how you impact your team. Well, one of the big impacts you can have on me in my day, and thank you so much for those people who have, is you can send me an email or drop me a message. I'm at managermattpodcast@gmail.com. Now remember, I do get a lot of spam, as everyone does, so if you don't get an answer straight away, please send it again and sort of mark it as Manager Matt Podcast Show question, because I do get a lot of people asking certain things and it's all just created by bots these days. So do that. Put comments. I might not read all comments, but try and get the comments. You can find me on LinkedIn. It's Matthew Haddock on LinkedIn. Love to meet more people. Don't go on there and try and sell me something. Don't go on there and try and do that, because I won't reply. But if you are a genuine person, want to learn more about leadership, mindset, and delivering those results, please let me know. Well, thank you so much for listening, and as ever, have a great week. That's it for Manager Matt this week, and goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Manager Matt podcast. We hope you found it interesting, helpful and actionable. One last thing, please leave a quick review on iTunes or with your podcast provider, as it helps to spread the word of Manager Matt. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you did like anything in particular, send an email to managermattpodcast@gmail.com or visit managermatt.co.uk for more content. Feedback is a gift, so let's keep giving. See you next week.